They don't teach this in school, but it's the reason why people with no degree are landing jobs faster than college grads. If you're tired of hearing you need a degree for that, you're going to want to hear this, because there's one skill that's flipping the job market upside down. And the best part? You can learn it for free. We're about to break down exactly what this one skill is, why it's in such high demand, and how to master it from scratch, even if you've never stepped foot inside a university or cracked open a textbook. This could literally be the thing that changes your job hunt, your income, and maybe your life. So let's get into it. Let me start with a quick story. There's this guy, Daniel. He didn't go to college, didn't even finish high school, to be honest. He worked retail for years, folding clothes, doing stock inventory, the usual. Then COVID hit. He lost his job. Zero savings. Rent due. Panic mode. Instead of going back to school or applying for more minimum wage gigs, he spent the next 90 days learning one thing: communication. Not the school kind where you give a boring presentation in front of class. I'm talking about real human communication, copywriting, persuasion, storytelling. The ability to get people to say yes. Fast forward a year, he's making 6 figures writing emails. For real, no cap. That's the skill no one's talking about. Communication. But not just any communication, the ability to make people understand you and trust you and want what you're offering. Here's why it's so powerful. According to the National Association of Colleges and Employers, the #1 skill employers look for isn't a degree. It's communication. That beats technical skills. That beats GPA. That beats everything. And it makes sense, right? You can be a genius with data, but if you can't explain your ideas, you're not useful to a team. You can code like a machine, but if you can't talk to clients, you're not getting hired. You can have all the qualifications in the world, but if you stumble in your job interview, you're toast. Think about it: salespeople, marketers, customer service reps, managers, freelancers, even TikTok creators. All of them are getting paid because they know how to communicate. Now here's the kicker. Communication isn't just talking well. It's about making people feel something. It's knowing how to explain ideas clearly, connect emotionally, and get people to take action. That means knowing how to write an email that gets a reply, how to speak in a way that earns respect, how to tell a story that makes someone stop scrolling and listen. And here's the best part. It's a learnable skill. You don't need a fancy degree. You don't need to spend thousands. What you need is to understand a few key principles and practice them consistently. Let's break down the exact things Daniel and thousands of others like him did to build that skill. Step 1. Learn to write like you talk. Forget everything school taught you about writing. No big words. No long paragraphs. No trying to sound smart. Good communication is clear, simple, and conversational. The fastest way to improve? Start writing every day. Anything. Social media posts, short stories, even texts. Then go back and ask, is this something I'd actually say out loud? You can even try writing your thoughts out and reading them back. If you stumble while reading, you're not being clear enough. Step 2. Study copywriting. Copywriting is basically using words to get people to do things by click, sign up, whatever. And it's one of the most valuable forms of communication in the digital age. You don't have to become a pro copywriter, but learning the basics will boost your communication by 10 times. Start with free resources, YouTube videos, blogs, Twitter threads. There's a mountain of free content out there. Some names to search up: Alex Cattoni, Neville Medhora, Justin Welsh. These people teach real, no-fluff communication that companies are begging for. Step 3. Practice storytelling. Humans are wired for stories. Facts are forgettable. Stories stick. You don't need to write the next Harry Potter. Just start thinking in story structure. What happened? What challenge did you face? How did you solve it? What did you learn? Whether you're talking in an interview or writing a LinkedIn post, telling stories is the cheat code to standing out. Even better, it makes you memorable. And in the job market, being memorable equals getting hired. Step 4. Talk to real people. This might sound obvious, but it's the most overlooked. The best communicators aren't just good writers or speakers, they're great listeners. Ask people questions. Listen to what they say. Pay attention to their tone, their body language, their choice of words. Then builds empathy. And empathy, that's what makes communication go from good to great. Now, let's talk about a challenge a lot of people hit. You start learning, you get better, but then you freeze. You're afraid to hit publish on that post, afraid to send that cold email, afraid to speak up in that meeting. And that's normal. Communication is vulnerable. You're putting your thoughts out there. That's scary. But here's what you need to hear. You don't get confident first, then communicate. You communicate, and then you become confident. Confidence is a side effect of doing the scary thing. Start small. Post something simple. Record a 1-minute voice note. Say something in the next team meeting. Send the email. Each time you do it, it gets easier. And with every win, even tiny ones, you're stacking up proof that you can do this. You'll start noticing something weird too. People will begin listening to you more. They'll reply faster. They'll trust you more. You'll stand out. Because guess what? Most people are terrible at communication. They ramble. They use jargon. They don't listen. So when you show up clearly and confidently, you shine. And in a noisy world, being clear is a superpower. Let's zoom out for a second. This one skill, communication, shows up everywhere. Want to start a business? You need to pitch it. Want to get promoted? You need to make your case. Want to get freelance clients? You need to sell your skills. Want to grow on social media? You need to connect with people. All of this comes back to communication. You can learn it without a degree, without permission, without waiting. Let's go back to Daniel. After learning copywriting, he landed his first $300 gig writing emails for a small e-commerce brand. It wasn't much, but it gave him proof.